Hi, my name is John Birch and I'm here to provide the Tuesday Tip for HMC Communications. The tip today relates to the requirement for an organisation to have a well-developed communication strategy in order to mitigate risk. In my experience as a professional director, the majority of organisations don't actually have a strategy that is sufficiently developed around the risks that they generally face in business. Most organisations spend a significant amount of time analysing risk and manners in which to mitigate the actual risk, and don't put any emphasis on the requirement to mitigate the circumstances if the risk should actually come to fruition. It's my opinion that boards have a responsibility to the organisations they represent to ensure that an appropriate PR strategy is in place around the risks that the organisation faces.
So John really introduced the topic of how boards need to be thinking about, what are the risks for the organization, and sometimes those risks will involve a risk to your reputation. And when that's the case, that's when you need to be working alongside your senior communication advisors and developing those communication strategy for what if the worst happens. And so, in those cases, you need to be thinking about, what are your key messages? Who is going to be your spokesperson? Is it your chairperson level, or is it a CEO level? Who do you need to inform? Everybody from staff to outside stakeholders, your customers, your suppliers, maybe local politicians, and even think of that to that level. And what are you going to need in place? Like, what pieces of information? You'll need a media release. You'll need Q&As. You might need letters to your customers, to your suppliers, things like that. So think of all the different things you need and put those in place so that if the worst happens, you have the assurance that you can just push a button at a moment's notice and go, and you have a great plan, and it's going to be managed in the proper way. So that's how we at HMC work with people at a board level, and we'd recommend that you get that in place at your company as well.